And,
Yeah,
okay, perfect. Thank you.
yeah, sure. So I'm going to share. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the North American Hand Paper Pre-Conference event. This event is a conversation with the 8th Collegiate Paper Art Triennial venue, and it titled Artistic Activities plus Community Development. My name is Sanaz Haghani, and I am a North American VP of Exhibition. I am an interdisciplinary artist and educator living in Athens, Georgia. About the North, let me introduce and talk about the North American Hand Papermakers. It is a non-profit organization that brings together people interested in hand papermaking to encourage sharing of practical, historical, and artistic knowledge about the craft. North American Hand Papermakers, founded in 1981 as Friends of the Art Hunter Paper Museum to preserve the books, papers, and artifacts collected by Hunter. The organization has grown to support further scholarship and encourage exploration by members of the papermaking community through its publications, exhibitions, and annual meetings. This year, the annual meeting, the North American Hand Paper Papermakers annual conference titled Activating Materials, and it will be a virtual conference taking place on Saturday, October 8th and Sunday, October 9th. And you can find more information about the North American Hand Papermakers Conference and the NAHP program at its website, which the link is provided in the chat. You check the chat. And now I also added the link, the website here, and that's presentation slide. And I want to introduce the speakers, and each person will present, and at the end we will take questions. And please leave your question into the Q&A option or at the chat. I want to start to introduce Drosha Graham. She is the museum coordinator for the Robert William Museum of Papermaking and a working artist. She's an Atlanta-based printmaker, papermaker, book artist, and fiber artist, worked with both nationally and internationally. Graham is a member of the Book Print Artist Scholar of Color College, the Movable Book Society, and the North American Hand Papermakers. She served as the first VP She served as the first VP of Exhibition Crucial for the North American Hand Papermakers in 2020 through 2021. She has also been a guest curator for the Zora Neale Harson Museum and in Florida, and the education director for Atlanta Printmakers Studio Foundation's professor for the University of West Georgia and the Art Institute of Atlanta, and Decatur, and a book art program making print professor for Kansas State University. The next, and then I will introduce the next panelists. Jill Odegaard, and she's a professor and chair of art department at Cedar Crest College, Evanston. PA, earned her BFA from Minnesota State University and MFA from the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. Exploration in the tactile and ambient nature of design through handmade paper underscores her work. The next panelist is Paula Danoff from Evanston Art Center. She is currently served as the EAC's president and CEO at the Evanston Art Center. Paula joined the EAC staff in 2008, and prior to this, Paula served as a director of special events and fundraising and the Cystic Fibers Foundation. Danoff has studied ikebana, the art of Japanese flowering arrangement, for 30 years and holds a third-level teaching certificate with the Sogetsu School of Ikebana. She has exhibited in the United States and internationally. She holds an MBA from the Graduate School of Business, Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois, and BA from Knox College, Galesburg, Illinois. Our next panelist is Didi from Lyndon House Art Center. Didi received an MFA from San Francisco Art Institute in the contemporary art. She is an accomplished artist, having had exhibits in major venues such as the Atlanta Contemporary, St. Louis, Telfair Museum in Savannah, Jacksonville Museum of Modern Art in Florida, and the Armory Center for the Arts, Pasadena, California, and more. Having a career in art administration, currently Didi Dunphy is the program supervisor at the Lyndon House Art Center in Athens, Georgia. I am going to stop sharing my screen, and please, Georgia, if you want to start and talk about.
All right, I'm going to share my screen, and I'll apologize ahead of time because I'm going to read my notes to make sure that I hit all of my points. Here we go. So Sanaz mentioned, I'm the museum coordinator for the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking, and I'm also an NAHP Exhibitions Committee member. As some of you may know, the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking is located in Atlanta, Georgia, on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology. We're an institution that's dedicated to collecting, preserving, increasing, and disseminating knowledge about papermaking, past, present, and future. And we put on 3 to 4 exhibitions per year with related workshops, panels, and lectures. Our galleries include 3 permanent exhibit spaces and 2 rooms for changing exhibitions. And I'm noticing that my slide is not advancing. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's see. Oh, changing exhibitions. And we rotate between our collections, scholarly, scientific, or historic exhibits, artistic shows, and rented traveling exhibitions. Oh, now they're advancing. So the Paper Museum was an early supporter of the Collegiate Triennial, serving as a venue for the first, second, and seventh exhibits. And we were the final leg of that seventh triennial. It opened at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia during the North American Hand Papermakers Annual Conference in 2019 and traveled on to the Morgan Conservatory. And as you can see, each venue puzzled out how best to highlight the work for the layout of their particular spaces. And then it came to the Paper Museum. And it was on view from August to December of 2020. So it's of great importance to the Paper Museum to be a space that encourages and nurtures the growth of papermaking community. And we see participating with the Collegiate Triennial as a great way to establish that. We want to see the public expand their understanding of what paper can be and what it can do. And the Triennial does a wonderful job of highlighting a wide range of techniques and subject matters. It's also a powerful thing to see the students' artwork in visual conversation with one another. Works from around the country. And it provides a peek at the topics of interest for our contemporary society. The fact that the exhibit travels ensures that a wider and more varied audience can access the work both in person and virtually through online exhibition pages on the North American Hand Papermakers website or on the website of the hosting venues. Serving as a venue also introduced our institution to the participating artists, and I hope they will continue to access the resources that the Paper Museum offers. As part of every exhibition, we host related programming for the Collegiate Triennial. For the Collegiate Triennial, we created a virtual panel series, which consisted of 3 panels. Each panel featured 3 students from the show that we invited to present their work. And the panel served as a safe space for the students to get further experience presenting their work professionally, as stipends were provided to the presenters. It also directly introduced the featured students to our virtual audience. The virtual panels obviously could be added to the students' resumes, and the recordings continue to be available to access on the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking YouTube channel. If you'd like to access the resources that the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaker offers, you can find us at paper.gatech.edu or at the listed social media addresses there on the screen. And if you'd like to see the 8th Collegiate Paper Art Triennial, it will be coming to the following venues: Cedar Crest College on August 22nd through October 14th, Evanston Art Center, January 14th through February 19th of 2023, Morgan Conservatory, June through July of 2023, and the Lyndon House, October 7th through January 13th, October 7th of 2023 through January 13th of 2024. And it will eventually be available online at the NAHP website. Please follow North American Hand Papermakers on social media to stay updated on related programming. And I hope some of you are inspired to host upcoming exhibitions by the North American Hand Papermakers. If you have inquiries about that, please email exhibitions@NorthAmericanHandPapermakers.org. And Just to highlight, I didn't mention, but the images that you see here are featured artists. So keep a lookout for them. There'll be lots of great programming around this exhibition. We've got to support our up and coming paper makers to continue to build a community that's growing. All right, I will pass it on.
So I will begin to share my screen. So many buttons to move about. Okay, so I'm Jill Odegaard, and I am, pleased to be the person that's showcasing the work at Cedar Crest College, the first venue for this triennial. Cedar Crest College, as Sanaz said, I've been teaching at Cedar Crest since 2000, and I've been fortunate to bring a papermaking studio to that environment. Cedar Crest is a women's college. The traditional day program is a women's college and liberal arts college. And as you can see here, I have created this diagram. This is one of our materials that I bring to open houses, where I've put art at the center of the universe, in my opinion. And so bringing art, connecting art to all disciplines that we offer on the campus is a great way to really highlight the impact of art within a liberal arts setting. What you see here is the gallery. This is the gallery here, which was actually built between the science building that extends out this direction and beyond, and then the gym. They were building a new gym, and there was a space in between the two buildings, and one of our former faculty said, let's put a roof on it. Let's make it a gallery. And so it started that dialogue between disciplines. So he was very much connected to art and science. And so we really continued to bridge those. And I see papermaking falling very much within that realm as well, as an art medium, thinking about conservation, thinking about our book arts program, creative writing. It's just a wealth of kind of interdisciplinary connections. The name of our gallery is the Center for Visual Research. So we're really kind of thinking about this more about how we can have conversations about the meaningful ways that art contributes across disciplines in general. Here are some interior gallery shots. You can see that skyway, the roof that connected the two buildings. So a simple decision of just connecting those two spaces created this vast exhibition space with amazing lighting. This is the exhibition of the Triennial this year. You can see as you walk in from the building, this is just a simple kind of doorway opening up into the gallery. So it's visible at all hours. We do have, as you see, gallery monitors in this facility to talk with the public and share information about the exhibition itself. But just to kind of go over this, the gallery system at Cedar Crest College contributes to the cultural quality and overall experience of our students, faculty, staff, and beyond. Our gallery exhibitions enliven the campus, displaying works by local artists with roots and connections in the community, as well as nationally known artists. As a factor in each student's liberal arts experience, the gallery system becomes a vehicle for inspiring dialogue across academic disciplines. It also serves the community, as the viewing of exhibitions is open to all college and community members alike. The mission of our gallery of the campus galleries is to present exhibitions that introduce our community to innovative ideas and timely concepts about the practice of art making. Our exhibition programming leans towards contemporary art that directly relates to the art major curriculum. Here are just some quick little snapshots of different artists that we've exhibited in the last number of years. Typically our gallery program, we have 2 exhibitions a semester, and then our senior art majors display in this space as well. But we really highlight all of the disciplines that we teach. So painting, sculpture, printmaking, ceramics, drawing. And then now with this exhibition, the paper exhibition, I'm delighted to be able to bring it to campus to really show the diversity of approaches that can be done with the paper. And I feel so fortunate to have this opportunity to share this with not only our campus, but the community at large, and kind of look for new conversations about how paper can contribute. The art department also has galleries in other areas around campus. And so this is a smaller exhibition space in Alumni Hall. I can't get this out of my way, so I'm not going to truly read that up top. You can read up the top, but essentially we have multiple spaces across campus, and one of them that's in the art department, which is just across like a grassy lawn from the Center for Visual Research, is more of this kind of exhibition space that I see as more of a community space. And some of these photographs that you're seeing are community projects that I connect to our community engagement courses. Some of the projects, one is I Am, We Are, where we have students have put doorknobs, actually little knobs screwed into the wall, and then created a network inviting people to come in and create a linear kind of diagram of their connections with community. Papermaking has come into community engagement projects with an exhibition called Reassurances, where we were making incantation bowls with paper in the studios, paper over balloons, and then also in the ceramic studio, and then writing our messages and intentions in the bowls themselves. And then one project that's up right now is this project here called Intentions, and it's another invitation for our community to write just something simple on a card and post the intention on the wall to share kind of a community dialogue. And finally, that one thing I want to highlight that we do in terms of connecting, thinking about community development and how our gallery sort of sits not only within an academic setting to talk to and explore ideas with students and faculty and staff, but also to reach beyond the out into the community. One of our classes, the Create class, partners with the Autism Society of the Lehigh Valley, and we've been working with the Creative Abilities group of the Autism Society for the last 3 years, and we've explored a lot with papermaking with this group. And so we the students partner with individuals from the Creative Abilities and do different projects. This was a collaboration of all of the participants. Everybody had a wedge in the overall landscape of this collage. And then we bring out the work and highlight it in an exhibition for family and friends to connect to. Here's some of the process images of that project. And really, I think some of these quotes through papermaking, we were able to connect with a community that we would have otherwise not had the chance for. Papermaking not only connects fibers, but also communities. And also with all of us together, we created conversation through art, which provided other opportunities to open new conversations, which essentially created a closer community. I feel like those are really meaningful in our mission with the galleries, in that we really are trying to open up conversations, and that we're doing that through art. So that's a short little recap of what we're kind of up to in Allentown. Allentown's located about an hour and a half from New York and about an hour north of Philadelphia. So we're nestled in a nice little nook, but have a lovely sort of vibrancy within our arts. So I will stop sharing and welcome the next presenter.
You're on mute, Paula.
I was so proud of myself doing the sharing properly that I, anyway, I will go back. Well, I guess I won't go back. So we are an art center we've been around for 93 years. We're currently in our 4th location in Evanston, and Evanston is a suburb directly north of Chicago. And also we're about a mile away from Northwestern University. So we teach classes, we teach papermaking, and we have a very robust printmaking department. We also teach collage and lots of other disciplines. We have 10 different studio spaces, a huge ceramics department. And so I thought I'd run through some of our exhibitions and then give you a sense of some of the work and the different types of work that we have. We're very excited to have this show in January, February next year in 2023. And it's, we have 5 gallery spaces. And so this will be one of, there'll be 3 other, it's going to take up a little bit more space. So there'll be 3 other shows going on at the same time. But it's very exciting to have this work here. In terms of programming, we are looking forward to doing some sort of panel discussions. I understand none of the artists live in the Chicago area, so it'll obviously be something virtual, but I think it'll be exciting to have that kind of programming going ahead. And so we also have, in addition to our exhibitions, we have our Winter Arts and Crafts Expo every year. And I don't know if any of you know artists or you're artists yourselves. This is like an indoor art fair, and it's up for 5 weeks. It's a commission sale. We take a 40% split and artists get 60%. We have artists from all over the country participate, and it's an unmanned, oops, sorry, I'm not sure where that came from. Oops, back. Sorry. What is that? This is not my thing. Does anybody know how to get rid of this? I don't know where it came from. It's very strange. Okay. Maybe I'll stop sharing and try sharing again. How's that? Is that okay? Or I don't know. I don't know. This is like a weird thing. I don't know what I touched to make it come. Anyway, never mind. I'll just go through. So the Winter Expo, if you know, there's an online portal on our website, and you can go there to sign up or send it to artists that you want, or email me and I'll send you the information. These are some of our workshops that we have coming up in the next couple of months: tapestry, 3D printing, darkroom photography. And then we also do quite a bit in the community. We work with 35 different community partners, similar to what was at Cedar Crest. We work we have students, nonprofits come here and do art, and then we also go out in the community and help them with that. And then we have this is another one. We work with Annixter Center that works with individuals with all different types of disabilities, and it's been a long-standing program for ours, and it's culminates often in an exhibition at the Arts Center. Then our YOU, Youth Opportunity United, this is work that we do in the schools in our area to work with low-income students that wouldn't necessarily be able to come to the Arts Center to take classes. We have a very large scholarship program. We don't turn anyone away who cannot afford our classes. They run quarterly, and they're usually between 10 and 12 weeks. We try to keep the price as low as possible. And then this is another nonprofit that we work with. And we also have things for a very robust youth program. We have over 800 students come through the Arts Center during summer camps, and we offer art parties for them too. And we have events and rentals in the gallery spaces that helps with some additional income. And then we have sponsorship opportunities as a nonprofit. We look to our community to help sponsor the things. As we all know, free isn't really free. Our exhibit program is open to the public. We're open 7 days a week and there's no charge. And this is a really nice infographic that's really hard to read. But basically, we have about 30,000 people come through our doors during the year, and we serve over 100 zip codes and give away 70 to 80 scholarships. And we have, as I said, the galleries and then classrooms, and we try to exhibit 400 artists annually. We also have a very robust BIPOC program. We have a lobby gallery that's reserved for BIPOC artists. And we have our curatorial fellowship that is a BIPOC curator. It's our 3rd year, and it's been very well received in the community. And we are always looking to address the needs of our community, as well as show incredible exhibits like the one we're going to have with you. So thank you.
Okay, my turn. Hi, everyone. I'm Didi Dunphy. I'm in Athens, Georgia, Lyndon House Art Center. It's so nice to meet you all and to see some of these lovely faces of women that I have worked with in the past. I saw this exhibit at the Paper Museum with Jerusha in that last iteration, I guess the 7th version of it. So I'll give you just a quick little screen share. Great. So we are located in downtown Athens. Lyndon House Art Center is a non-collecting arts institution that provides citizens and visitors with a relevant, enriching, and inclusive experience in the arts, encouraging all to foster a deep appreciation for the arts and cultures. With 7 galleries, an education wing, and 7 professional studios for working artists, we strive to uplift artists' creative professional development through engaging and significant exhibitions, robust art education, and events that celebrate our cultural diversity. Programs such as Window Works, we have a BIPOC curatorial fellowship. I'd love to talk to you, Paula, about that program with you, and an artist in residence, AIR, that reflects our commitment to arts advocacy and the amplification of the artist's voice. Our campus includes a garden and a historic house museum featuring a new interpretive exhibit and a short film entitled Resilient Civic and Musical Life, Where Lyndon House Enslaved and Descendant Stories just opened. We're going into our 48th year. This is structured by our anchor exhibition, the juried exhibition, which is a competition reviewed by guest jurors. We are part of the Athens-Clarke County Arts Division. So we are civically funded, and our partners within the Arts Division include the Morton Theater and Historic African American Vaudeville Theater, East Athens Educational Dance Institution, and Athens Creative Theater. So we sort of touch all sort of aspects of the arts, performing, visual, etc. So you know a little bit of what we have in our place. What we do is art, primarily contemporary arts. This is one of my favorite programs. It's Window Works, and it is the open air courtyard facade. This happened during COVID when we could not enter the buildings, although as a civic facility, I opened with the Water Business Bureau. So it was pretty early in trying to navigate how people were going to be welcoming art and art experience back into their lives. So I thought, why can't we just have art outside, art in making our facade palette? So this is an exhibit by AJ Aramu, who created her prints, and then we translate them into window vinyl. We have, as you saw in the first image, a very auspicious facade, which in general I consider a bit of a barrier. And I feel that our core mission is to create an experience, an environment using arts that does not create barriers. So if you get past the major large columns of our facade and you can get to the window works as kind of a welcoming entrance into thinking about the contemporary arts, thinking about art in unusual places and the value of art outside and about. This is an artist, Cedric Smith, who lives and works in Macon. My first introduction with paper and paper making was actually through a program that I do with the Georgie Museum. And it was entitled Cut and Paste Works of Paper. And it traveled to a number of different facilities, including Jerusha's facility. So I sort of got hooked on paper for a minute there. So I'm really happy to be welcoming this exhibit. These are some of our galleries. As I mentioned, Lubashevitz Gallery, we have a great show by Margot Newmark Rosenbaum up right now. And our South Gallery, and I believe this show will be in the South and the West Galleries, if I'm correct. This is a quilt show by Kathy Fussell from Columbus and Coulter Fussell in Mississippi. These are our big atrium galleries. The image that you see on the top is the program that I had mentioned that was under the cut and paste. This is highlighting contemporary art in Georgia. And this, in fact, is a triennial as well. And I get to go on road trips and visit artist studios. And it's one of the things that I like the most about managing an arts facility is actually seeing the makers' spaces, like and weird little closets, extra bedrooms, enormous, gorgeous lofts, you know, all sorts of these wonderful experiences, and then being able to translate what is being made in those spaces onto the gallery walls. We are currently in installation, courtesy of my iPhone snapshots. We have a partnership with the Clark County School District. So this fall we'll be opening an exhibit of 400 children's works of art from K through 12. That's my pink little stool in the case, getting ready. And when I think about the arts, you know, I think about all encompassing. So as you all other presenters have mentioned, different materials, different age groups, different backgrounds, etc. So trying to reach and touch every part of our population, maybe not all at the same time, but at least during the course of a year of programming, it's my goal to address the population in Northeast Georgia and in the Athens area. So we work very hard on this children's show. I raise money for a catalog in which every child's work is pictured, photographed, and is given to every family. On the wings behind the galleries, these gorgeous big galleries, is our studios. And we have 7, as I mentioned before, and we launched a very inexpensive studio membership. One of the hardest things in Athens is to find affordable workspace as an artist. It has really become a crisis, and I don't know if you all have experienced this. It's the influx of real estate, etc. So what we did was open up our studios that traditionally had been used for classes and occasional workshops into a very great membership program. And I'm looking to expand that. And within that, we have the artist in residence, and we have specialty projects. Like some of you all also, we have a big art education program. We focus a lot on teenagers because, as we know, if art is part of a teen's education and experience, those young people become advocates for their community. They find greater investment in their community, and they tend to even vote early in their careers. So we have a lot of teen programs, and this was one that was centered around public art. We do have a public art wing as well that is staffed, that is also part of our arts division. So these kids went around to muralists and artists that decorated buses and ended up giving us 3 panel murals out back and enlivening our workspace outside. So I think the core sort of thing that I took away with your challenge of how to address the community is that I'm very invested in using the Art Center as a catalyst for partners and partnerships, because the more the merrier. We can't do it alone, and that we can accomplish so much more for the artist community if we sort of gather together certain different resources, because we all have a different stake in the game. So we have a Lyndon House Arts Foundation. This is a not-for-profit whose sole mission is to raise money to towards the expansion and development of programs that are otherwise outside of my city budget. And we do this through a screen print limited edition artist series. This is Holly Poulis, who did, I guess it was the 3rd, and we're getting ready to launch the next one with a gentleman, and he left a note on my desk. I don't know if you can see this, but I think I might have to frame it. He's titling his new print, Rays of Joy, Love. So I'm just leaving that on my desk for inspiration now. So this is a project that we do to raise money actually directly for the teen programs. We have 3 teen mentorships, and this print series funds those salaries of those teen teachers. Here is what I showed you earlier, the Clark County School District. This is actually the cover of this year's exhibit book catalog, and it's a more wide open theme because these kids have just gone through craziness with the pandemic. So we just gave them a prefix to work with. So there are many interpretations: recycle, rebuild, resilience, all kinds of different things. So that's what is going on right this moment. This show is a partnership with the Georgia Museum of Art, as I had mentioned, highlighting contemporary art in Georgia. And it fits both our missions in that it celebrates and advances the working artist in the state of Georgia. And as I said, I go to road trips, and then this show travels to different venues around the state. So this one is going to Columbus right now. It goes to the Albany Museum of Art. It goes to the Macon Museum of Art and Sciences. It goes to the Morris Museum in Augusta, and it goes to one other one, LaGrange Museum of Art. So in partnering with the State Museum, I'm able to work with a lot of up and coming contemporary artists and being able to share their works with smaller communities that might not see this kind of innovative or provocative work. Downtown Athens, we are part of downtown. So the Downtown Authority is a wonderful partner for us. They are not government, they're an authority, so their funding comes from a sort of a different avenue. And they are able to help us bring what we're doing here outside into the city. So this is the Athens Mural Alley. And what we did was did a call, and these artists got funded, they got the materials. And again, this was something that we wanted to do following COVID as well. And that is to bring the value of the artist and the artist's interpretation of what our world will look like going further and forward into the downtown area outside of these big walls in this building. Not-for-profit is our Athens Area Arts Council. And this is another project that we did again with mural panels. And this is in a parking lot stairwell. And again, giving money to the artists. It's one of my favorite things. And getting their work shown. And this project is still looking really great. And we took our teams there to show them that, yes, indeed, art can exist in all these different places. And this young man over here on this side, he was 17 when he did this. Well, he's had the cover of magazines and all these sorts of wonderful things in his young career. So he is really exploding, which is quite wonderful. As I mentioned, we have a public art component of our arts division in Athens. And this is a project that I started along several years ago. This, I think, is the fourth year, the Athens Music Walk of Fame. So we did a call for a graphic artist to design a plaque. And this wonderful artist, local artist, came up with this sort of guitar pick shape. And I've been overseeing the committees to nominate different important musical artists who've contributed to the musical scene in Athens. And these now sort of speckle the sidewalk. And I guess our last, I think this is my last sort of bigger partner, is of course our full arts division. And as I said, we represent by several different facilities and programs. So again, one core piece is professional development. And we started through different grants to provide art professional practice summits. And this year we had one with Charmaine Minifield as our keynote speaker, and a series of different professional, panels and discussions. I ran one on funding with the Georgia Council for the Arts and Southworks and other funders. So again, trying to take the local artist population and elevate them up and into a competitive world with the rest of the state of Georgia and the region, certainly. And I think that is it.
Thank you so much, everyone, Didi, Jill, and Paula. And thank you for accepting our proposal and, invite. I am one of the 2019 artists at the Triennial, and I know how it changed my professional career life. And I think it's really important for artists and for people to know and how you can change someone else's life, how you can direct them to different ways. And thank you for your time and for being here. So we have 7 more minutes, and if you have any questions, you can. Actually, we have one question. I think Beth asked a question from everyone at the chat part. And I love seeing how much community is involved in each of the venues. And I feel so much can be learned through the communities developed. Do you have any advice for the young papermakers and artists as they graduated with their undergrad and grad degrees and beginning their journeys into the professional world? Yes, if you want to ask a question.
One of the first things that came to my mind was to stay connected to your undergrad and graduate program, your mentors. I know that for us, that continued connection always opens up some interesting opportunities. I've been working with a student recently who graduated a couple years ago. She stayed connected. She's starting an art education program with sort of special needs. It was a residential place for juveniles, and she needed some basic materials, some molds and decals. And I said, come on over, make some pulp. Let's just get this. You need the materials so we can support you in this next mission. And I think that that's really it's an important thing to stay connected because we always can share opportunities. So that's my little bit of advice.
And I would encourage graduates and undergrads to participate in shows like the Collegiate Triennial. Like, don't be afraid to put your work out there for exhibitions. You know, it's good practice to learn, you know, how to pack and care for the work, to learn how to talk about the work. Yeah, it's just because you never stop doing it if you continue to be an exhibiting artist. It's a constant thing, you know.
Well,
And you-
I'll add my little thing, you know, because we have like the jury show or any of these triennials. And of course, Sanaz, you know, I could use Sanaz as an example. I saw her work in this show. I liked it. I pursued her. That sounds a little funny. But then, you know, gave her an exhibit, a solo exhibit in a museum. And through this whole thing was elected to be one of the women to watch that one year. So yeah, so you can sort of track. But so in my case, yeah, applying to these shows like the juried show, even becoming a low financial membership at your local not-for-profit and attending all of those and understanding what their programming looks like and how you might be able to fit into your program. And then when your work is accepted into a juried show or a program like this, write thank you notes. That is my big advice. I'm constantly telling this to people, and if they got an award in the juried show by a guest curator who runs a museum in another state and they write a thank you note, they already immediately have a connection. So that's what I say.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add, we have a very robust internship program in arts administration and also, you know, communications and community outreach and community engagement. But any of these internships, which are, as I always start out my pitch, this is the business of doing art. And so we offer them, obviously, we have high school kids in them, we have college, university students, and then sometimes if the university student isn't quite sure what road to take, we'll have them say for 6 months after they graduate. And I also say it's important if you haven't found your niche as you walk out that door from the university, that at least you know, no one ever asked me if you're getting paid or not paid or, you know, things like that. And if, but it looks like you're working. So it's a good way. And I also am I am a reference that's not, you know, university based or other jobs that maybe aren't in the arts field, but it is very valuable experience, and it's not forever, it's just a couple months, but it also, sometimes we have openings at the art center and then we just slot that person in. That's never a given, but so any arts organization or anywhere that you can, a gallery, whatever that would allow you the opportunity to try to get some of the back end, like this is how you get paid, not so much art making, but just everything else.
And I might also mention residencies. So Nella O was one of the artists featured in the 2017 exhibition, and she has since done residency with Didi in New York. She's currently at in Aramont Arts and Crafts School in Tennessee. And there's opportunities out there to do residencies that give you, you know, a place to stay, something to eat, and a little stipend, you know. So
Yeah.
and I have this. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I have to say, my professors told me about all of those art schools, all those residencies, and it wasn't until years after I had gotten out of school that I actually attended one and was like, oh my God, I wish I had done this earlier. So, yeah.
Oh, well, Jerusha, you had asked if any of us would be hosting or doing any other additional programming or adjacent programming for this show. And we certainly do invite the artists who are within, driving distance to come and do gallery talks, and they do get a stipend and or demos or workshops. So we'll be working on, inviting some of the exhibiting people here.
For us at Cedar Crest, while the exhibition is up now, we were able to do a hands-on experience during the opening. So outside, the opening was at a nice time of year, right at the beginning of this semester starting. So there was a nice kind of energy around that. But one thing that I did in my papermaking class, I've asked students to respond to a work in the gallery. And these students are gen ed students, not art majors. And so I really saw this as an opportunity for them to sort of dive deeper into a work that they responded to and to realize in themselves that they can be influenced by other people's works. And so that really had, I think, a really profound impact on them. They were really confused at the beginning, like, I don't get what you mean by this. And so I just see my role as an educator and our galleries as just kind of opening up those doors for art appreciation to then go out even further into their communities, like some of these other art centers as well. So that's been really kind of fun at the college.
That's wonderful. So what kind of message did you get from your students? How they respond to the artwork?
Well, they were really excited to kind of get into some of the subjects or even the technique. So I was asking them just to kind of respond on a very basic level. So it could be through color palette, or it could be through some of the imagery that was showing up. And so they were just small, sort of, they were a part of a studio exploration sort of portfolio that they had to do. It was a condensed 2-weekend class, a big immersion, but it really was great for us to have that show. Is such, I'm excited for everybody to see it. It's such a vault of great things, materials, techniques, insights, ideas. I mean, it's really inspiring. So I can't say any one specific thing, but I do know that each one was really kind of, and we sat in the gallery, and before we left, everybody had to identify the piece that they were connected to, and then they had to say something, and they're like so afraid to even say what they even appreciated about the work. So I feel like even that was super breakthrough moments of just giving them that space to be able to put some words on what they're experiencing visually. So it's neat.
How they start, right? Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
How, and then they will process that thinking.
Yeah, and even if they're not going to pursue art in their future, they're building a foundation for appreciation and being able to go to these art centers, the museums, the galleries, and participate, be a participant in the exhibitions.
So I think, do we have any other questions? Because it's 7:03 and I don't want to take your time anymore. And I want to thank you all for your time, for be here on Sunday afternoon, and for preparing platforms for students to show their works. You all know as an educator, it's really important for students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care and take care. Bye.
Bye.